What is good, gang? Happy Friday. Welcome back to our channel and our podcast. Thank you so much for being here. Today's video is absolutely powerful. And if you like videos like this and topics like this, like, share, and subscribe. And follow me if you're listening over on the podcast for more. The podcast is called Assume the Position. And what are we assuming the position of? You got it. Your I am awareness of being. So let's get right into this powerful video. I had a client yesterday ask me about a video that I made about an experience that I had, which was an outer body experience. I will link it down in the description box below. It is a popular video and one for me that I return to quite often. She said, "There was something you said in that video that really stuck out to me. You said that you knew that I am was the only one entering the vision or the story." And this is very much the truth of reality creation. So, I want to offer you a perspective that changed everything for me through many of these experiences. And no, you don't have to have an experience like I had to understand it. But if you listen thoroughly, this video will change your life. So, as you know, you do not need to fix your current story. You just have to stop identifying with it entirely. You don't need to heal your way out. You just need to exit the body of that version of you and enter a new one. And so here's the real shift. I am going to walk you through exactly how to do that right now. And here's how most people try to change their life. They stay inside the same identity with the same story, looking through the same lens, and just try to make it prettier, try to rearrange little pieces, but never fully moving within the mind of the all. So they say, let me reframe it, let me journal it away, let me affirm over it until I can't hear it anymore. But all of that is still happening inside the story. And this is what I mean by trying to manifest your way out of a story, or especially if you are living in lack, trying to manifest your way out of an illusion. So imagine this: you're in a house that is falling apart and the walls are cracked, the air is heavy, and it does not feel safe. But instead of walking out, you grab a paintbrush and decide to start decorating. This is what it looks like when you try to shift reality from inside the identity you want to leave. You're still living as the version of you who needs the change, and that version was never meant to create your new life. And the only reason you don't walk out of this story is because you are trying to walk out of it from the human finite perspective, which makes time relevant, and because you are identified as being this body in this story. So you are not the character in this story. You are the one watching the story. You are the observer, the awareness, the consciousness that sees it all. And the observer is never stuck. It's just temporarily identified with a version of you who believes that they have to struggle their way into a breakthrough. This same awareness that experienced heartbreak can also experience bliss. The same awareness that watched you feel broke, unseen, confused can just as easily step into a version of you who is deeply loved, wildly fulfilled, and magnetic. But by not fixing anything, by moving into a new body, this is key. We think we are dragging the same body around to different lenses, different scripts, but we are not. The shift isn't about healing the old identity. It is again about releasing the identification with body and mind altogether. So, your awareness, your I am, has the ability to literally move into another body with another story. So, let's use a metaphor that you can actually feel. Imagine you're stuck in a movie theater and the main character you are watching is going through it. They are facing loss, feeling stuck, and trying to figure out their life. And you're glued to the screen, so caught up in their journey that you forget that you're just watching. You even start to yell at the screen, like, "No, don't go back to him. Girl, stop people pleasing." Or, "Why won't you just believe in yourself already?" And I've been in movies like that too. But here's the thing: you're not in the movie, you're in the seat watching the story. And when you remember that, you don't have to yell. You can easily get up. You can leave the theater entirely and walk into another one playing a completely different story. This is how you shift. This is how you become aware that you don't change the plot. You change the seat you are watching it from. So here's what it really looks like to shift. You realize this is just a version of me, a perspective, a filter, a lens, and then you drop it. Not with resistance, not with force, but with choice. Every movie you watch is a frozen screen, and in this movie is a different version of you in a different body, a different point of view, living a whole different life. Remember, your I am, that awareness of being, is the way, the truth, and the life and the light. So when your awareness passes over a new frame and decides to watch that story, it lights that frame up. So the people start moving and your character is living their day to day lives. And everything is normal for that individual based on their perspective. So you don't need to heal that previous you first before you move. You just stop carrying them forward. And you say, I no longer move from their assumptions. I no longer speak from their pain. And I do not look through their eyes anymore. And instead, you step into the body or the version of you who is already living the life that you were chasing. They don't think about how to get it, they already have it. They don't overthink, they know. And they don't need to manifest, they embody. And the shift isn't hard, it's just unfamiliar until it's not. This is why you use your spiritual creative senses, like we've been talking about, and you imagine or use your inner senses and think about what it would be like to be that version of this individualized concept of I am. You are catching the mood of what it's like to observe how that version of you lives, how they act when faced with circumstance, and how natural and normal it is for them to receive love, joy, harmony, wealth, all of that. And this is how you merge into that you, and it becomes natural that you experience life the way that they do. So, what this also does is it changes how you even perceive the current circumstances. You can move out of them effortlessly by realizing this isn't your chosen perspective anymore. So, you'll start to resonate with those circumstances differently and see them through the lens of that ideal you. Once, where you believe you didn't have money, you start to think that it's impossible because I've always had money. So, my closing thoughts in this are this is why contrast is needed. I am is here having an experience through you and wants to have as many as you allow. And you do that by not clinging to what is. You live that story out completely and you go all the way with it. And when you come up against certain circumstances or limitations, you die to the old self and you rise higher in consciousness to another point of view. So, this is why a greater self concept drives out the old. And this is how you rise higher in consciousness, transcending all states, right? So, to the all who is everything that there ever was, how would it know that it was truly the all without any contrast to know itself? And when you see life this way, life becomes a beautiful collection of stories. And this is why time isn't real except for the character. It's real, but for I am awareness that lives outside of space and time, it knows creation is finished. So, depending on where you look as the operant power, from you take on any position, you can take on any position because the past, the present, and the future are all playing out at the same time, right? So, this is why what you think happened to you never really happened to who you truly are. Again, it is real for the character, but not real for you who exists outside of space and time. I am was observing, and the only reason most of you don't move is because you got too involved in the story and think that you need to hold on to these moments that happen because of a lesson or some greater perspective that you feel you must carry to the next story. But that's for that old character, that's for their lives, not for the you who has always been living in that joyous, abundant state when suffering is not needed, you guys. So that you who does not live in lack will never have experienced what the character in the previous story has, the one that was living from lack. They are two different movies. And this is why A Course in Miracles says to hold on to nothing, because in the end of it all, you are greater than every single story. You are just entering a story as I am to see how great you actually are, right? To see how much you are the all, right? And you wouldn't know that if you didn't have some sort of contrast here or a human experience to experience all of these emotions in, right? So the last key here is this is why I teach revision in the way that I do. Because when you go back to revise those unfavorable situations the way that you would like them to be, it's not just so you can get the thing you desire, it's to bring love to the you that you keep trying to reject or exclude from the all. And you welcome it into the all and see that you as a whole is complete. So now you can make a choice from full power, not just a fractioned off into different sections, trying to do it from inside of one particular story, but moving from the full you. And this is what most people will not tell you about revision. So if you understand this, just like Neville says, God or I am being your own imagining, you will walk completely suspended above appearances and you will become what you desire. All right. So I really intend that this video assisted you in some way. We're going to talk about it in my 2-week coaching program that I'm so excited, the challenge that we have where you can win 1 month free coaching with me and so many other goodies that we have coming out. And we're going to talk more about this and how to magnetize and pull your desires into form from that I am awareness, and how to create safety in your body so that way you could actually move within the mind of the all. All right. So if that interests you, get down in the description box below. Working with me one on one is also down there as well. I would love to assist you. And remember, you guys, your imagination is the kingdom. That is where you go to commune with I am, to catch the mood of the you who is always doing, who is already doing exactly what you want to do. All right. So, again, your imagination is always on your side, and I am too. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.